Hey everyone, so this is Grey's Anatomy season 13, episode 5, called Both Sides Now. The episode starts off, with everyone complaining about the heat in Meredith's house. Al and Alex and Maggie are standing in front of the open fridge and freezer, and they're just complaining about the heat, which I'm not gonna. I mean, if it's hot over there, it's hot over there, so you can't really. I can't complain about them, complaining. Anyway, so it goes to Bailey at the hospital now, and she sees Meredith, and it's such a glorious day because an 80-year-old grandma is getting a new liver transplant, and she's really excited about it, and saying that it's going to be a joyous, grateful day. Elsewhere, Amelia is surprised to see April at the hospital because she thinks it's the 26th, and April's like, no, it's not the 26th because it's the 29th, the day that I'm actually supposed to be here. So I'm not early, I'm here on the day I'm supposed to be. And then everyone else is seeming to want everyone else besides Joe. Maggie wants Edwards, um, Bailey wants DeLuca, nobody wants Joe around. I'm not gonna be that sad about her being dumped by everyone else. I'm not gonna be that sad about it. So stop removing Joe. Stop removing Joe. Just stop. Um, Bailey has DeLuca on the case of the liver transplant for the 80-year-old grandma whose name is June. Um, and as he presents the case, they start fawning all over him, and the grandma's like, I don't remember what the granddaughter's name is, but June's like, so and so, he's cute, isn't he? And the girl's clearly kind of mortified here, so she's like, after some hesitation, or a lot of hesitation, it's like, yeah, and he's cute. Um, anyway, so Meredith is then given the case of Chelsea, who ran in triple-digit heat and had passed out. And so they're trying to cool her down so that um, fast enough and everything. Then Riggs, um, after Meredith leaves the room, offers to fix Meredith's air conditioning since Maggie brought it up, but she declines. Meredith then walks in on Amelia looking for a pregnancy test. Amelia says she's pregnant, but she doesn't even know for sure yet. And Meredith's like, "You're saying you're pregnant? You haven't even peed on a stick yet." And it's just like, yeah, it's like, come on, like you're saying you're pregnant, but you don't know that you're actually pregnant. So either get the test done or shut up about it. Amelia then runs outside of the room. She runs into Owen and is about to tell him of her suspicions, but then Jackson comes in with Harriet on his day off, and Owen offers to look after her since he really isn't that busy right now. Later, Amelia is upset Maggie took Edwards, and Maggie finds out Amelia thinks she's pregnant, and she's like, Maggie's all like happy about that. Back in the pit, Weber thinks he sees Chelsea out of bed, but it turns out it's actually her identical twin sister, Chandler. Chelsea's dehydration has caused her liver to shut down, and so that's what we find out a few minutes later. They think they can use part of Chelsea's sister's liver, so they decide to test Chandler. And I was thinking at this point, um, Chandler wasn't going to be able to give her kidney regardless of if she actually matched or not. I mean, she's gonna match because she's a twin. She's identical twin. But I mean, I figured that for some reason Chandler wasn't gonna be able to donate a lobe of her liver to her sister because for whatever reason, we find out later what that is. Chelsea then starts seizing, so they kind of have to, stop it. So I don't exactly remember what they do, but that's what they start, working on her to make sure she stops seizing. Owen is then upset because he can't stop Harriet from crying, but Alex says there's nothing wrong with her and to take her to get daycare. Alex then, takes Harriet into his arms, and she magically stops crying. And so I'm just like, I laughed way too hard at that. I laughed way too hard. Because I was just like, because literally Harriet is crying in Owen's arms 1 second, and the next thing you know, she magically stops crying in Alex's arms. I'm just like, poor Owen. I'm just like, this dude really wants kids. He's been saying this for years, that he wants kids. Now and thinks he'll be this magical daddy, and he can't even stop one little girl crying. And it's like, so poor Owen. Anyway, Alex says that babies can tell when people are tense, and so they pick up on that. So he gives Harriet back to Owen, and she just immediately starts crying again. I'm just like, dude, you like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so Maggie and Edwards tell their patient, Andy, of the risks of having heart surgery, but he basically knows what the risks are because he's been told them before. And not only that, but his whole life basically is risk, or like all his life has been like risk, like what he decided to do with his career. I don't remember what they said, but basically that's what it is. Meredith then, tells Chandler that Chelsea has been moved up to the top of the transplant list, because they can't use Chandler's liver due to the fact that she's pregnant. So there's that. Amelia then keeps saying she's pregnant when she doesn't even know. And I think this is when this is a scene with April. April's all excited about it, and it's like, girl, if you don't quit telling people that you're pregnant and only think you're pregnant, and you just don't tell people that you only think you're pregnant, I'm gonna take that, or I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I mean, come on, you need to stop telling people you're pregnant when you don't even know for sure. Get it together. Owen is still having trouble calming Harriet down. When Ben walks in, and Owen's like, well, how did you handle Tuck? And it's like, Ben was like, well, Tuck was 4 when I met him, so I didn't have this problem. And basically he doesn't really have much to offer, since, Chuck really was kind of a lot older. He was like a few years older. So, he really has nothing to offer. It's just like, this is really just hilarious, because it's like, come on, this dude has been saying ever since he's been on the show that he's always wanted kids. Now he would love to be a dad and everything, and it's just sad. It's just so sad. It's like, anyway, Chelsea is getting worse, that we see, and they need a liver for her ASAP. Meredith, or Weber at first is like, well, where the fuck am I gonna get a liver? And Meredith's like, well, I think we already may have a liver on the way for someone. So they both go to Miranda to ask for the Granny's liver, but Miranda's like, no. But Meredith and Weber are like, well, Chelsea will die within hours, and June won't. She's been on the transplant list for 3 years. She hasn't died by now. She's not gonna die in the next few hours. Chelsea, on the other hand, will. Miranda doesn't really like it, but she sees their point, and so decides, and seeing no other choice, goes to June to ask if she would give up her liver, that she will see, so Chelsea can live. June says, screw Chelsea, because he's been on the list longer. Okay, I have issues with this. Yeah, I know you've been waiting a long time, but you're not likely to die in the next few hours. You're not likely to. Chelsea, on the other hand, is, and she has her whole life ahead of her. She could still, be a good, contribute well to society, and she deserves a shot at a long life. June, on the other hand, is 80 fucking years old and she's already lived all of her life. Yeah, I mean, so, I mean, what's a few more days, or what's a couple more hours or a few more days for a transplant? Like, really? Weber is clearly upset and goes to try to change Bailey's mind because he basically thinks, like what I just said, that Chelsea's in her 20s and has her whole life ahead of her. Joe, on the other hand, is 8 years old and has had lived a long, full life, but Miranda doesn't budge. Amelia doesn't know when to tell Owen about her pregnancy scare, or not pregnancy scare, but her possible pregnancy. And she doesn't know whether to tell him before or after she's found out. And she asks for Meredith's advice, but she isn't much help. April then tries to get Amelia to tell Owen, but she isn't sure because she doesn't want that. Because last time she had been pregnant, she didn't have to tell the baby's father, which was Ryan, because if any of you have watched Private Practice, you saw that Amelia got pregnant on that show, or that spinoff, and before she, I think before she had found out she was pregnant, Ryan had died. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it, because I think otherwise she would have told him beforehand. But yeah, Ryan had done drugs, and they both had done drugs at the time, and then he overdosed and died because he aspirated on his own vomit, and so she found out she was pregnant a little bit while later. So it's like she didn't really have to do this that time around. So she's still trying to figure out how to do that. Rigson walks in, seeing Owen and Karen for Harriet, and they seem to have this little heart-to-heart before they smell Harriet has pooped in her diaper. I'm just like, the way they do it is so cute. The way they change the diaper is so cute because they're making it sound like they are doing surgery, and it's so fucking cute. I'm just like, stop, you're killing me here with cuteness. And I also like this scene because it shows both of them not fighting and arguing and everything, and I like that. I mean, I'm glad that they're kind of trying to take it slow, where Owen doesn't completely forgive Riggs right off the bat. But I still like seeing them talk civilly towards each other. Later, Andy, Maggie, and Edward's patient crashes while they're operating on him. Maggie thinks that he must have thrown a clot during surgery. Later on, when they're out of surgery, and Amelia reveals Andy is basically brain dead. Miranda then says that Meredith soiled the joy she had. I'm like, no, she didn't. She was trying to save her patient. I mean, you would have done the same exact thing. So I don't know why you're trying to harp on her right now in this particular moment when, she was just trying to save her patient, because you literally would have done the same exact thing. So don't even pretend that she soiled anything or spoiled anything or whatever you want to call it. I mean, she was just trying to save her patient. Same thing you would have done. So shut up. They find out that Andy is an organ donor and is a match for Chelsea. So they transplant Andy's liver into Chelsea. Jill then is complaining that she had a terrible day and got bumped twice. I'm like, girl, shut up. Like, no one's really behind your ass anymore, so shut up. Amelia tells Owen that Owen, walks home, or walks into the door, walks in, and sees the unopened pregnancy test on the coffee table, and Amelia tells Owen that she might be pregnant. So they open it, use it, and find out that she's not really pregnant. And I figured she was not pregnant at all. I figured she was not pregnant. There's no way they would have done that. I mean, I just felt like it would have been too convenient to just write in her pregnancy just because she's pregnant. Like, I mean, so I just figured that she wouldn't be pregnant. I mean, I'm sorry, Amelia, that you're not pregnant, but I mean, it just seemed a little too coincidental that all of a sudden, not too long after they got married, she's pregnant. So, anyway, this is like one of those, plateaued episodes where I'm not really mad at one particular character. Meredith didn't really piss me off this episode this time, so I'm glad about that. I'm glad she didn't piss me off, because if I had to, endure one more episode of her being bitchy and not doing anything, I would have been mad. Anyway, I actually liked this episode where she fought for her patient and, tried to get her to get her patient the transplant, or the liver that was supposed to go to Jane. Because I feel like we don't see that side of her much anymore, if anything. So I'm glad that we, saw that side of her. But anyway, this was a pretty cute episode. I liked it. I liked the whole Owen trying to calm Harriet down, and I mean, eventually he did. But I mean, I think he had to figure it out on his own that you can't just assume you're gonna be this fabulous parent straight off the bat. And I'm glad he figured that out throughout the whole day. So I'm glad about that. I mean, other than that, I liked how Riggs was, how him and Riggs had, kind of had this little heart to heart, and kind of, they didn't yell at each other or make a scene with their arguing or anything this time. So I'm glad that they, showed that side of them this time around. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna last, but I mean, I'm glad they showed it at least. Anyway, so next week on Grey's Anatomy, Alex gets to even more trouble, possibly by either saving a patient's life when he wasn't supposed to touch them with a scalpel, or almost killing a patient because he screwed up whatever he was doing. And Catherine tells Miranda if she doesn't get rid of Alex, Catherine will. So, maybe this is the end of Alex at Grey's Memorial, or Greystone Memorial. Who knows? But we'll have to wait till next week to find out. I hope he doesn't leave, because I'm starting to like Alex a lot. I mean, despite the whole DeLuca thing, I'm really liking him and how he's come so far since the beginning of the show. So I hope that he doesn't get fired for this. Who knows? We'll have to see. Anyway, that's the whole episode. Really don't have many predictions. I mean, it's pretty much the same as, previously, where I think sooner or later, I'm thinking sooner rather than later, that Mac is gonna find out that Meredith was the one behind Riggs turning her down for the date. But I think it's gonna be because Meredith and Riggs are gonna end up kissing, and then Maggie's gonna end up seeing them, or walking on them kissing, and it's gonna ask what the hell's going on and all that stuff. So I think that's what's gonna happen. That's how she's gonna find out. But I mean, I'm thinking it's gonna happen soon. I'm hoping, because I really don't want to drag this out too much. But other than that, I really have no predictions. Well, actually, no. I think Joe's ex is gonna end up coming back, coming into the picture in the winter finale, where he, right before Grey's Anatomy goes on break, he comes into the episode right before the ending of the winter finale, and then we're gonna have to wait until February or something to see what happens next with Joe's ex. I think that's what's gonna happen, because and possibly that's gonna be the same time that Maggie finds out what really happened with Riggs. So that's probably what's gonna happen. They're gonna wait until the winter finale to um, have everything come to a head with everyone. So I think that's what's gonna happen. Because otherwise, I mean, they can't really keep going and dragging those two storylines out. But that's just me. Anyway, so I'll see you guys next week in Grey's Anatomy. Hit like if you like this video, hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you guys on Monday for Elementary. Bye.